Chris again.
Chris. Thank you, Chris. Do I just plug it into this panel here? That's absolutely true, and that aspect will absolutely be covered. Yeah. Go. Okay. So where's the this one? Okay. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's gonna be. Oh, yeah. So much. Thank you. Oh yeah. I remember yesterday our talk yesterday. Oh yeah, I forgot. I won the wrong shirt. Yeah, sorry. I won the wrong shirt. I forgot about that. Okay. Is this good? Is this working? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is talk about a low frequency Bremsstrahlung effect in a compound semiconductor, and it just turns out that this week, um, I really want to do this, and I wanted to do it so much that a bunch of other things have happened that have basically made this actually possible in a like a future funding sense. So, and I'm going to describe my week about how that transpired, which is like a normal week for me, but it's been a super normal week for me. But it's going to sound kind of crazy to you, but the show must go on. This is what happened. Um, give me a chance. You'll probably thank me later. Okay. So anyway, but I want to talk to you a little bit. I want to show you what the Bremsstrahlung effect is. So it's right. I know I can do it. Okay. So in a Bremsstrahlung effect is where you have an electron. Well, it could be any, but this is a good example. So what happens is an electron is coming in at high velocity, and it's coming into a proton, or maybe there's some more protons here. But what's going to happen is it's going to have an effect like this, which is this is your energy, or no, this is your energy, this is your position, and then what it is the is that right? Yeah, Planck's constant. So what happens is that you get a continuous energy distribution, and and this effect is important because ah ah if you could actually create a continuum, P does equal NP. There's no question. Everybody knows that. This is well documented. In fact, all the proofs that question whether P equals NP, they actually have math in them that that they use. They actually have these. They call them RAMs. They're these analog things. A continuous computational mathematically, and so the question is, and this is how it begins, is that so on Monday, John Preskill came here, and then he talked to me for 5 minutes before the presentation. He didn't talk to anybody else, and this is where you get the funding for it too. So he's talking about quantum computers, and that's exactly what this is. But this is something that no one else has actually thought about. This type. So on Monday, I did get to ask him, at the end of his presentation, I said, what do you think about Wheeler's assertion that there is no continuum? Now, Wheeler, he's had 12 graduate students that have won Nobel Prizes, including Kip Thorne and John Feynman. And it goes on and on, but John Wheeler never did get a Nobel Prize himself. But all his graduate students did. And John Preskill was at Princeton, and Wheeler was at Princeton. So anyway, but everything that Wheeler says, it's like Einstein in the physics world. It's very interesting, and all his assertions are just, they're like E equals mc squared. Everybody, they're not sure if they're true, but they consider them. And so his assertion that he wrote this "it's from bits" paper, that was getting it. He's not up there, but Wheeler wrote the "it's from bits" paper, and the "it's from bits" is the idea that all of our reality comes from information theory. That's the bit. He believes that basically information theory, and that we could somehow find a yes and no, but that requires that there is no continuum. So like, and so when I asked John Preskill this question, he said that well, he doesn't know, but like as you go down, he answered the question, but as you go down enough level, and you create a particle accelerator and you blast it to try to find something, you're probably going to create these little black holes or something. Anyway, but he said ultimately you get left with a Planck length issue, where there is this length to the universe. Like there is a fundamental length, but it's like it's a billion times smaller than the particles that, like a quark or something. So that it may not matter actually that there is not that even if Wheeler is right that there is no continuum, because maybe the order, this could still work because it's so small that it would still act like a continuous, like, so that a calculus that that a derivative actually is a derivative, like in the physical world. What Wheeler says is all our math is wrong. Everything is discrete, and it should mean that calculus should fail actually. But it doesn't. We know it doesn't. It works great. It works even great. I mean, quantum mechanics is based on Schrodinger's equation, which is continuous. It's a continuous assumption, and it works perfectly. So, yeah. So then the question becomes, what's next? Okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. So this is what's weird. So John Preskill and I, what we talked about, that was after his presentation, which is what I really wanted to know. What has he thought about that continuum idea? Because this Bremsstrahlung effect is a continuum, and so my idea is that it's continuous. That yes, I can accept that reality could even be discrete, but if you have something moving, and when you read or write information, you always have the energy transfer. I believe that if you have the motion itself could allow for something to be continued. The continuum that we need to exist could be that if you just use the motion of the particle to encode your information, and create a computer that's based on the actual analog physical processing, and you could do it in anything. You could do it in light. If that's true, you could do it in light or semiconductors, or whatever. So John Preskill's conversation beforehand was we were talking about. He's like, I just asked him, "Do you know Kip Thorne?" And he's like, I didn't realize exactly who he was, and he said, "Yeah, of course I knew him." And I was like, "Oh, good, because I know Kip Thorne too." And then he was like, or at least I know his family, and he's like, and that's how he was like, "Okay, I have to talk to this guy because this is the weirdest conversation ever." Because he doesn't know me, and I know he knows and I know his best friend's family. So, okay, who are you? And so I guess this all goes back to 2012 when I spent the Easter Sunday with Kip Thorne's family, and that is actually a normal event for me. Yeah. So, but that event is why I'm back at Georgia. That's why I'm at Georgia Tech now, because I was like, you know what? Even though Kip Thorne didn't actually show up, but his wife was there, and she gave me a hug, and his son was there, Brent, and I spent the whole day, and I had Easter eggs, even though Kip Thorne is an atheist, although he was raised as a Mormon, so I didn't ask about their religion or anything. But anyway, so so how does that all work? Yeah, so this is the way you're going to get funding. Yeah, is this kind of networking. So, but then I was talking to John Preskill about how to do networking, and I said, yeah, it's not an isolated incident that I'm talking to you like this. Like, for example, a year and a half ago, I met Michael Phelps. And he's like, I said, "What did Michael Phelps say to you?" And I said, "Oh, he said he said, yeah, and thank you. And then he came back afterwards, and he kind of looked at me, after when he was leaving, like an hour later. So anyway, but okay. So and then he said, oh, John Preschool said, wait, you're a powerful person. And then he was walking away, and I was like, oh no, that's absolutely wrong. I am not a powerful person. And so I told him, you lose it if you abuse it. And then Preschool, because he was being ushered onto stage at that moment, and he said, ha. And so he understood it, because that makes him sound powerful, which is true. But in reality, in a networking sense, a personal networking sense, I have negative power. I have crushing debt, crushing student debt, and crushing debt to all the people that made it possible for me to be here at this very moment. So, and that creates some sort of negative social power, and that's how this is happening. So to test my negative social power, it indeed did work, because yesterday, you can look up who Amanda Weir is. She talked to me for 10 minutes, and I've never talked to Amanda Weir in my life. And she really, really, really wanted to talk to me, because I walked away, and then it was like, okay. So and so you can look that up. So we talked about like the rainbow connection or something, the Kermit the Frog's rainbow connection. But anyway, it proved the point that that the Michael Phelps thing was not an isolated incident, and and Doug and Caleb. Anyway, so I proved that part. Anyway, this is about the future. Yeah. So, oh yeah, and okay. So Doug Yoder, he works with Shen, and the thing with Doug is over the past 2 years, he has painstakingly gone through all of my ideas that I'm sharing with you. And Doug he hates quacks. He really hates quacks. He's really annoyed by quacks. And he's told me that there's nothing in I don't have enough time to tell you everything that's going on, but he's like, yeah, it's possible. Everything I've said is possible. And then Jennifer Hassler, she's my advisor, and she's getting a degree in divinity at Emory, and everything I told you makes absolute sense to her. But the good thing about Yoder is that he's not getting a degree in divinity, so he doesn't believe anything that I said. So he provided like a devil's advocate for the past 2 years. And then, yeah, so that was good. Okay, yeah, so, yeah. How much time do we have left? All right. Really? Okay. So, oh yeah. My first job was at MIT, Georgia Tech. Oh yeah, I hung out a year at Stanford. Yeah, I have these connections at Caltech, sort of. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. My hat's about Good Buddy Hunting. Nobody gets this, but this is because Coca-Cola is about happiness and finding happiness. So it's a EQ test, but nobody gets it. Anyway, okay. So what thing can I share with you in 2 minutes? Okay. Oh yeah. Why bother? Oh, okay. Oh yeah. So all this stuff that happened. Okay. I am the son of 1,000 fathers, which I analyzed this book called The Hero of 1,000 Faces, which is the philosophy of Star Wars, which is what it's written on. But that's wrong. The reason why I'm able to do this is because of a psychological phenomenon called transference and countertransference, which you can look up as Freudian and Jungian. And it means that I can transfer a relationship, and I can do this very quickly. I can find someone that loves me like a father, and I love them like a son, and they treat me as such, and that I've done this so many times, and I did this since a child in Japan, living there with, in a host family, a Japanese family, that, yeah, and that's it. And nobody really understands this stuff. Like when I went into Stamps, the psychology center, they wanted to commit me, and I was like, oh no, you need my help. I don't need yours. And so, and I did convince them that I was right about that. So, anyway, you're welcome.
Slides on
What's that?
on Mr. Bremsstrahlung.
Oh, I forgot to talk about the energy diagram. Yeah. Oh, I forgot that part.
That's okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I will look forward to your term paper. Yes. All right. So we have the